Today we're going to show you how to drive a manual transmission in 1 minute.
And then we're going to go into detail on every single step, and we're also going to show you what happens if and when you screw up.
And today we're going to be learning how to do it on a brand new Toyota Corolla with a 6-speed manual and my 10-year-old Honda with a 5-speed. When getting into a manual transmission car, it should already be in gear and the parking brake should be up. To start the car, put your right foot on the brake pedal and put your left foot all the way on the clutch pedal. Then put the car into neutral. You can check by going left and right, and start the car by pressing the start-stop button. Once the car is started, since we're already in neutral, we can release our left foot off the clutch pedal. The next thing we need to do is release the parking brake. And now it's time to drive. What we need to do is get into first gear, but first we need to put our foot all the way down on the clutch pedal. Then we can put the shifter into first gear. To get the car rolling, we need to let off the clutch slowly and give gas slowly at the same time. Once you feel the clutch catch, then you can fully release the clutch and drive normally. To get into second gear, let your foot off the gas, put the clutch pedal all the way in and shift into second, and then ease off the clutch while giving a little bit of gas to make the transition smooth. When it's time to come to a complete stop, hit the brake pedal like you normally would and put the clutch all the way in right before the car starts shaking. Then to turn off the car, what we need to do is put the car into first gear, then press the start-stop button. Then we can take our left foot off the clutch with the car off and activate the parking brake.
The first thing you want to do is find yourself the biggest, emptiest parking lot you can find. Once you sit down, make sure you're in a good driving position. So adjust your seat so that you can press the clutch all the way down with a slight bend in your knee. The clutch pedal is always the third pedal from the right. It doesn't matter if you're in a left-hand drive vehicle or a right-hand drive vehicle. Some people park their car with the transmission in neutral and the emergency brake up. Other people park their car with the transmission in gear, but no emergency brake. The best method is to use both. Newer cars like this Toyota Corolla have an electronic parking brake. They automatically turn on when you turn off the car. However, most older cars and some newer cars still have a manual handbrake, just like this 10-year-old Honda. To find out where first gear is, check the shift pattern in the shifter area. This one's in the top left. So to start your car, just like in the beginning of the video, put your right foot on the brake, your left foot on the clutch, make sure you're in neutral, and start the car. Now since we're in neutral, I can take my foot off the clutch and it won't move. And if you try to start the car without pushing in the clutch, you just have your foot on the brake, it will not start.
And what happens if we try to start the car in gear?
You can still do it. Just make sure your foot's still on the clutch.
What happens if you let go?
That's what happens.
So with the car on, in first gear, with the parking brake off, how do we get the car to start rolling?
I like to find the clutch engagement point, but to show you that, let's switch to the multicam setup. So now I'm going to show you what the clutch pedal actually does. I'm not going to touch the gas and I'm not going to touch the brakes. So I'm going to release the brakes and now I'm going to slowly release the clutch. So what happens is you get to a clutch engagement point and you can feel it through the clutch. And the car will actually start moving by only using the clutch. So now if I release the clutch fully, we're at full speed and we're not touching any pedals. So I'm going to hit the brakes and clutch in. And now I'm going to show you what happens if you release the clutch pedal too quickly at the engagement point. So I'm going to let it out and let go. Typically in an older car, it would stall out, and in some other cars, it would also stall out. This one has a bunch of safety stuff built in, so it didn't actually stall. However, I'm going to show you what happens on a 10-year-old Honda. Now I'm going to show you how to get the car moving properly. I'm going to slowly release the clutch while adding some gas. And once you feel that the clutch is fully engaged, it's all smooth, you can release the clutch and put your foot on the dead pedal. If you're having trouble with that method and you're stalling out and the car is shaking, you can actually add about 1,000 RPMs worth of gas before you start to release the clutch. So I'm gonna go to about 2,000 RPM, and then I'm gonna release the clutch slowly, and then release the clutch and put my foot on the dead pedal. So now we're gonna bang some gears. We're gonna shift from first to second. This is a lot easier to do than getting the car moving. So once we're moving, we're gonna wait till about 3,000 RPMs. We're gonna let out the gas, we're gonna press the clutch, and we're gonna shift to second. So I'm gonna show you what all of that looks like right now. Let's go smoothly. 3,000, clutch, and let the clutch out smoothly to make sure you have a nice smooth transition into second. So now to come to a stop, here's what happens if you just press the brake and don't press the clutch. You stall out the engine. So I'm going to show you how to correctly come to a stop. I'm going to hit the brakes, and then before the engine starts to lurch, press the clutch in, and then shift into neutral. Clutch out. So to prevent extra wear and tear on your clutch, when you're coming to a stop for more than a few seconds, you want to hit the brake, clutch in, and you want to put it in neutral. You don't want to sit there with your foot on the clutch. You want to release the clutch.
So hopefully this video helped you learn how to drive a manual transmission. Usually we do new car reviews every Tuesday and Friday, so subscribe if you want to see some of those.
And if you use this video to help you learn how to drive a manual transmission, add us on Instagram at The Straight Pipes, at Yuri Tereshin, and tag us in your Instagram stories. Stall it. Nice.
Chris Fix here, and we're going for a drive.
And I'm finally driving the Raptor for the first time. '2019 Dodge Enforcer police car.
Yeah, that's right, we're cops.
That's right.